Well, because if you get my e-news, you read things and you have a video connected. Don't raise your hand if you don't read it. But I do know, just for future reference, I know if you unsubscribe. It does send me an email. And I do reach out to people who have unsubscribed to ask them if it was an accident. It's not passive aggression. It's just I want to make sure it's not wrong, okay? It's important. So don't unsubscribe. Just hit ignore if you're not reading these things. But if you saw it this week, you may have read or seen in the video that I told you this is a Sunday you're not going to want to miss. I'd like to be able to say that every Sunday is a can't miss Sunday, right? But here's something that I found out recently. I was talking to an old friend of mine from my last church. I was the associate pastor at First Christian Church in Longview. And they would let me preach from time to time, only in the small contemporary service. There were about 80 of us in that service. That's the only place they really wanted me to preach. Can't cause a lot of harm there. So I would preach there, and I preached quite a bit, I feel like. But now 6 years later, I was talking to a former church member, and they said to me, Brent, we miss you here, and we really loved it when you were here. And I was like, that's affirming. It's sweet to hear that. He said, here's something I remember about you. You were a really good preacher. It's like, hey, say more. And he finished the sentence, but I don't remember anything you ever preached. I said, okay, there's that. He said, but I'll never forget. Okay. He says, Brent, there was this handful of Sundays where you did these special things. He said, remember, Brent, that time when we gathered for worship and then we all left and went to the hospital across the street where you had worked it out where we could go and sing carols in the waiting rooms of the hospital and we could give gifts to the nursing stations. Remember when we did that? Oh, man, I'll never forget that. He said, and then there was that Sunday where you had us sitting around tables and we would tie the knots on those double layer blankets that are so comfortable. We would pray over them as you were doing the service, and then we fold them up, and you let somebody at the table take that and give it to a homeless person in Longview who was cold. Oh, I'll never forget that one. He said, but Brent, my favorite Sunday ever, was the Sunday that we got to church, and we went through the service, and instead of preaching, you said, surprise, Church of Woodforest. Surprise, because we're going to do what I did there. It was so meaningful. It was the only sermon that he really remembered. And First Service participated, and they told me it was the best sermon they've heard yet. Here's what we're going to do. In just a moment, after we say our benediction together, you're going to be invited, not forced, invited, to leave. And you're going to, at the exits, as you make your way out, you're going to be handed an orange Harvest Market shopping bag. And with it, you're going to have a shopping list. And it's the shopping list that Stonebridge Food Pantry has told us they are looking to collect. And trust me, you're not going to get everything on the list. No expectation of that. In fact, we're giving you the bag so you don't feel like you have to fill up a whole shopping cart. And again, you don't even have to go. You can beat the Baptist to church even more so than you normally do. Get to the brunch before it's a line. But you're going to go, you're going to be given a bag. You're going to go to Harvest Market. They know you're coming. Trust me, they know we've been there at the first service. And you're going to take your bag and your list and you're going to go and you're going to shop. They brought in extra employees to make sure there's plenty of things stocked. If you go for mac and cheese and there's not any left or somebody's grabbing the last one, don't fight in the store. That's a bad thing. Just move to the next thing on the list. On the list, you're going to find where everything is has an aisle listed beside it. I went to the grocery store and I'm telling you where it is. Go to the aisle. I told you what it's going to cost. You can figure out it in advance. We want to spend $5. We want to spend $50, whatever you want to do. But I want to invite you to go and be a sermon this Sunday. As we think about this Wish You Were Here series, I could get up here and talk about being the church all day long, but I want you to go and be the church. And when we do our benediction, wherever we go, it's Harvest Market right now. Wherever we go to Harvest Market, remember to be kind and gentle and thoughtful and gracious, all those things. That's what I want you to do while we're there. You're going to go in, you're going to take your bag. They're waiting on you. You're going to go over there. You're going to get what you want, as much or as little as you want. You're going to come out. You're going to check out. They've got extra staff members working today for this deal. And they're going to check you out. It's not going to be just that one or two that you stand in line for a long time. There's like 4, and I think they've got mobile swipes and everything. You'll walk right back out of the grocery store and turn to the right. And you're going to walk in front of the porch, the outside eating area, and there you'll find a trailer that's already nearly halfway full of all the food that First Service purchased. You're going to go, you're going to hand it off there, And when you're all done, we're going to close the trailer. We're going to drive it to Stonebridge, and we have volunteers who are going to unload it there for their food pantry. Here's your chance to participate, to be one with the church, capital C Church, and to live what we preach. And just maybe it'll be the one sermon that I ever preached that you remember.